Yo, what's going? And you know, one of the videos that I put out, my Spider-Man versus Venom, that thing, as of this point, has like over 30,000 views. So shout out to every single one of y'all that looked at that video, because I had no idea I'd be doing them kind of numbers. Those numbers are very unusual for me. And you know, um, shout out to y'all. In the spirit of, attracting voices or attracting views to the channel. Well, not so much attracting views to the channel, but doing something with the people that view this channel. I want to talk with y'all about something serious against the backdrop of this wrestling. And so, the thing I want to talk with y'all about today is the juxtaposition between partisanship and patriotism. So we got to define both of those terms before, you listen to me yak on about it for, the next hour or so. So partisanship in the context of politics, well, just in general, partisanship is, favoring one side over another. When you have an either-or type of situation, the partisan tends to stick with one side in a variety of different situations. That's what it means to be partisan in general. Within the realm of politics, partisanship refers to blindly, advocating for your preferred party on every single issue, in every single circumstance, no matter what the details of that circumstance are. That's partisanship. Patriotism. The definition of patriotism actually has nothing to do with how much you can brandish your flag or how often you will wear red, white, and blue. Because frankly, if you read the flag code says you're not even supposed to put no flag on any article of clothing and brandish it. Yeah, they did a good job of edging that. Sheesh. But anyway, so all those bikinis with the stars and stripes on them, that's violating the flag code. People that literally drape themselves in the flag, they're violating flag code. And you ain't gotta believe me, look it up. You know what I'm saying? Look it up. But patriotism means that you know what American rights are, what American ideals are, and you ruthlessly advocate for those rights and, those ideals. You have to ruthlessly advocate for those rights and ideals for all people, no matter who they may be. If they were born on this soil or they became naturalized citizens or whatever, it means that you relentlessly advocate for those rights for all people. It also means that you recognize when American rights and ideals and principles are being violated, and you call it out. Whether it's your party doing it or some other party doing it, doesn't matter. Or whether it's an individual you like doing it or an individual you don't like doing it, does not matter. That's what it means to be a patriot. It does not mean that, you believe that America's the very best in all aspects of everything. No, that's nationalism. Nationalism and patriotism seem like they're closely related, but they not. Oh yeah, this is when I decided to have Edge versus. I decided to be Booker T. But anyway, so that right there says a whole lot in and of itself. But I want to get into the nitty gritty. You know what I'm saying? Because people are very comfortable being partisan, preferring their favorite party and their favorite politician. And I just want to explain to y'all why that is an episode, like why that is folly. Gotta sip this tea because, as you might be able to hear, I'm a little bit under the weather. My voice is not normally this nasal and stuffy, but I got a bunch of mucus I gotta get rid of. Hopefully I don't get rid of that during this video, but if I got to do it. Damn, this tea hot. Shit. Okay, so why is it bad to be a partisan? Well, reason number one is that these political parties do not give a damn about you. Your favorite politician, 9 times out of 10, and when I say 9, I really mean 9.9. 9.9 times out of 10, they don't give a damn about you. Damn, epic slowdown. Sheesh. Now, they may have started off caring about their family and friends and stuff like that, but the vast majority of politicians in both parties, red and blue, they are beholden to their corporate paymasters. Those corporate paymasters send lobbyists that promise their campaign finance committees hundreds of thousands, sometimes millions of dollars, and in turn, those politicians go and advocate for those policies that would benefit those paymasters, even if they come at the expense of regular people. I'll give you an example. Guns. No matter what side of the gun control issue you fall under, it's an unmutable fact that America has more cases of gun violence than any other country in the world. We just have more. And that's because we have more guns. We literally have one gun for every person in this country. That's over 350 million people. So there's 350 million guns. We, have an insane amount of guns. And in many instances, they can make situations safer. Absolutely. Someone that's, concealed carry out in public has a chance of stopping a robbery. And we've seen videos of that. It's true. What's also true is, as soon as you bring a gun into your home, when there wasn't previously a gun, the chances of someone in that house being shot by that gun increase dramatically. So it literally makes the people in your house less safe. Doesn't mean guns need to be taken away, especially from people that haven't done anything. And it certainly doesn't mean that we need to start banning, AR-15s and stuff like that, because the reality is handguns are the guns that do the most damage to people in terms of the number of deaths, accidents, suicides, and stuff like that. It's the handguns that are out here doing all the damage. But more or less, you have one major political party, the Republicans, who are bought and owned by the gun industry and the NRA. That industry disproportionately donates tens of millions of dollars to Republican candidates so that they can defeat any and all gun legislation. And I'm not talking about, the kind of legislation that says, hey, we're going to take away shotguns and handguns and all that. We're talking about legislation that literally allows the government to study gun violence. That's illegal. Like, you can't track and get data on guns in this country. Not legally. You'll be sued. This kind of legislation, they're trying to block. They have blocked legislation like universal background checks, which, even if you're a gun owner, chances are you believe everybody should have their background checked. But the Republicans block it. They're not blocking it because their voters want it. They're blocking it because their paymasters demand it. Because the gun lobby understands that, any kind of legislation that would try to lower the amount of guns that they can sell to people, no matter who those people are, that's going to hurt their bottom line. And they ain't trying to do that, even if it would benefit the country. That's the problem. And you don't have to be a liberal to understand this. You don't have to be a conservative. It don't matter. It does not matter what your political leaning is. This is true no matter who you are. Okay? But when you're a partisan, you only look at these kinds of issues through the lens of a blue voter or a red voter or a Trump supporter or this person's supporter. You're much more than that. You are not put on this planet to support and vote for the red party. That is not why you are here. That's not the sole reason why you're here. You have a duty as an American to uphold American ideals and values. Such as looking out and protecting your fellow American, fighting for their rights. That's why we broke off from Britain. Because we all were being unfairly taxed without being represented. That colony or that colonial power did not give a damn who was in this country. They was going to tax us all and have us all be subservient to them. We can do better than that. But that can't happen if you have decided to dedicate yourself to one man or one woman or one party. Do not emulate, the older adults around you who have decided to watch, cable political news all day. Don't do that, because cable political news is some of the most trashiest political dialogue that exists. It's garbage. It is there to gain ratings by way of preying on voters' fears and catering to their prejudices and their biases. And that's true of Fox, that's true of CNN, that's true of MSNBC, that's true of all of them. Those are the main three. But this applies to all of them. And so, your job is not to sit there and defend your favorite politician. They rich. They don't need your defense. They don't need your love. They don't need nothing from you. They want your vote. so that you can keep them in power. But they don't need you. Now, so far, most of them are not stupid enough to come out and tell you that. But somebody's going to slip up. It's only so long before some foolhardy politician has a hot mic moment in which they say, these damn voters, who do they think they are? They're entitled sons of bitches, blah, 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 blah. Thinking I gotta do what they say just because they get my vote, or just because I want their vote, blah, 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 blah. It ain't gonna be too long. And no matter who actually says it and which party they belong to, understand that they all feel like this. There are only a select few politicians who I genuinely believe want to do good. And they happen to be the least popular members of their party. Or they're not even in Congress at all. You understand? And so, you don't need to sit there and give them your love or even give them your vote. No. They got to earn your love. They got to earn your vote. And you should be willing, ready, and able to take both of those things away if they stray. Politics is a transaction. You give them vote, they give you policy. It ain't supposed to be no more than that. It's interesting because people treat actual relationships like a transaction. Like you're not sharing oxygen with an actual human being and stuff. Y'all are exchanging bodily fluids and all that, and being in each other's face and breath and giving each other COVID and possibly STDs. But that's a transaction to people. Yet people treat their favorite politicians like they're Jesus or something. No, they're not. Them fools don't give a damn about you, I'm trying to tell you. You know how I know? Besides just the fact that besides the fact that these people are beholden to corporations, you know how I know they don't give a damn? Because they are often not affected by their own policy choices. You know, the current president of the United States, Joe Biden, was not affected by the crime bill of 1994 that he peddled as a career path during his run in Congress. That's the thing that he's most famous for. Who was that crime bill for? Black men. Brown men too. But mostly black men in urban areas that had been accused of having or selling drugs. So he doesn't give a damn how tough those sentences are. He doesn't give a damn about the harshness of the penalties for these crimes. He doesn't give a damn that he wanted to make a disparity between crack cocaine and regular cocaine, even though they're the same goddamn drug. Only difference is blacks prefer one, whites prefer the other. So he wanted to do it, and he did. Legalize a disparity between these two drugs. A disparity in sentencing between those two equivalent goddamn drugs. That's like charging more for ice than for water. They're the same goddamn chemical. Anyway, that's Joe Biden. On the flip side, Donald Trump is just as bad. He tried it's very, very hard to repeal key aspects of the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Tried to get rid of that healthcare policy with no goddamn replacement. Okay, you're going to kick people off their healthcare insurance because you say it's government-run healthcare, which it's not. It's not government-run at all. As a matter of fact, the insurance companies benefit very greatly from Obamacare, which is one of the main problems with it. But the insurance companies benefit the most from that damn bill. It's not government-run at all. The only thing the government does is it makes insurance companies insure everybody regardless of whether they have pre-existing conditions or not. That's all the government does there. And then of course it does open the marketplaces so that people can purchase, cheap healthcare policies, blah, 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 blah. The government's not mandating any part of the healthcare whatsoever. It doesn't pick your plan. It doesn't tell you who your providers are. None of that. It does subsidize plans for people that can't afford it, but that's not the same as the government actually running healthcare. That ain't the same at all. But if you're a partisan, a right-wing partisan, this is what you've been told, and this is probably what you believe, even though it's factually incorrect. And that's another reason why being a partisan is dangerous, because it gets you to believe a bunch of lies, like legitimate lies. You know what I'm saying? Like we ain't got the internet or something. Like you can't just Google this. Like we don't have fact checkers or something. Like you can't just get an expert opinion on what is and what ain't in this world. We can. And when you do the research, when you listen to expert opinion, nonpartisan expert opinion, they'll tell you, hey, it's not government. That's factually wrong. But when you're not a partisan, you are open to those possibilities of being misinformed about a topic and changing your mind based on the information. But, when you sit there and decide you're going to dedicate yourself to a party and or a politician that don't give a damn about you, you literally close yourself off to the truth. And that's not good, because it will cause you to make a bad policy choice that affects you and other people that you don't know. People that you know and people that you don't know. And that can have disastrous consequences. So, you don't need to do that. So then let's talk about this patriotism. Because I got into the weeds of, I haven't yet gotten into the weeds of what it means to be a patriotism. I talked a little bit about what it don't mean. I want to try to help you distinguish between being a patriot and being a nationalist. Because if you're a nationalist, you're more likely to believe in the myth of American exceptionalism, which is America is the best country in the world at everything, in all areas, or most areas. No other countries have anything to offer. They have nothing to teach us. The rest of the world needs to bow down and listen to us and obey us. That's what American exceptionalism says. And I'm here to tell you, as somebody that has traveled, hell, just getting out of your state can really ruin that for you. But when you travel abroad, and I only been to one other country I literally went to London 2017 with my family. They do things differently that are just objectively better. For one, when you go and buy food, well, aside from that, for one, Wi-Fi is everywhere. You ain't got to worry about not having Wi-Fi access. Because everywhere you go, just about every little store there is, they all have Wi-Fi. All of them. So you can stay connected wherever you at. Also, the quality of the Wi-Fi is better than it is here. What other thing, which I was about to allude to earlier, when you go and you buy food, like at a KFC or something like that, for starters, you know how we could pick the size of our drinks here, small, medium, large, blah, 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 blah. In London, you don't pick the size of your drink. There is one size to your drink, and every soda is made with that fake sugar, so it all has a strange aftertaste. But this accomplishes two goals. This makes you less likely to drink soda. And then, if you do drink soda, you're not consuming as much sugar because you ain't really consuming any sugar. It's fake. So you're less likely to develop diabetes and insulin resistance because you want to have something nice go with your snack or go with your meal or whatever. America needs to do this. We need to get on this train. It would be beneficial for the safety of children, adults, and the future of Americans if we did this. Damn, epic slowdown. What the hell? Okay. He leaves the ring and there's no countouts in this one. Yes, it doesn't taste as good. Yes, we should have freedom. Yes, we should have the option to request real sugar and extra, cup sizes and all that kind of stuff. But I feel like that should be the standard. You get a standard drink, that's what you're going to get. Fake sugar, regular size. I don't even remember if we could do refills or not, but I feel like we couldn't. I don't remember. But those things would be hugely beneficial. That's just one tiny. Those are just a couple of tiny things that we can learn from another country. Now, me saying all those things doesn't mean I don't love America. Doesn't mean I don't think that this is one of the greatest nations on the earth, possibly the greatest nation of the earth. But it's also me acknowledging that we don't have a monopoly on good ideas. Meaning that we're not the only place, the only country, the only nation that can come up with an innovative solution to a problem. And we have not solved every problem that there is to solve. In fact, many countries have solved things that we're still grappling with, like healthcare and education. They're doing things right that we are not doing. And so there's nothing wrong with acknowledging that reality. And acknowledging reality also goes hand in hand with avoiding partisanship, Because sometimes when you have politicians arguing on a topic, sometimes the politician you prefer is dead ass wrong. And you got to be ready, willing, and able to acknowledge that. Sometimes your party is dead ass wrong on an issue. They just are. They're doing the wrong thing. But if you're a partisan, you won't say nothing about it. You'll let that shit rock. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the way to be. That is not the way to be. You got to acknowledge reality. But yeah. Let me tell you what else patriotism isn't. Patriotism does not mean that we support our government bombing countries that we consider to be enemies. Right now, Russia has invaded Ukraine. And they've given all their reasons and stuff like that. And the Ukrainians are fighting back and giving them hell. And it looks like, the longer Russia stays in Ukraine, the more expensive it's going to be. The more Russian soldiers are going to die and lose morale. But also the more Ukrainians are going to die. But eventually Russia's going to have to give up, I feel, just based on the current trajectory. But being a patriot or patriotic American does not mean that, hey, we have to send our soldiers in there to stop those Russian bad guys because communism is evil. No.
This is going to be good.
Stop. That's madness. For starters, the Ukraine-Russia conflict has nothing to do with America. Nothing. Really, it's best that we stay out of it. It's even for the best that we even stop arming Ukraine, to be honest with you. We need to be pursuing diplomacy. We need to be trying to get them to stop fighting, not aid one side against the other.
And his opponent from New York,
that's what we need to be doing as a country. We can stand with the Ukrainian people, and we can help and take in Ukrainian refugees and all that good stuff. All that's fine, good, and dandy. But us deciding to be the world's police, that's not patriotic. That is not patriotic, because you would not accept it if the shoe were on the other foot and some other country said, hey, we're going to be the world's police and we're going to intervene when America decides to do blah, 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 blah. You wouldn't like that very much. So if you don't want it happening to us, then you should speak out against it happening from us. You understand? That's patriotic right there. Patriotism also means, like I say, that you stand up for American ideals. One of the most fundamental ideals that this country holds near and dear is the ideal of diplomacy. Or not, I'm sorry. We do believe in diplomacy, but a democratic government. Therefore, if you didn't accept the results of the 2016 election or the 2020 election, you are actively not practicing American ideals. If you believe that Russia interfered and conspired with Donald Trump in order to stop Hillary from winning the election, you're a fool. You stupid as hell. If you believe that Dominion voting machines took all these Trump votes and switched them to Biden, and that a whole, millions and millions of illegal or dead people voted in the 2020 election to steal the election from Donald Trump just because he says so, you are a fool. You have been tricked, you have been duped, you have been hoodwinked.
That's an attack that takes aim at the king of strong style's crown.
That is not democracy. What you are in fact doing is you are refusing to accept the results of a democratically held election. You are undermining the very ideals for which you claim to love so much. If you're an American, you're supposed to stand for American ideals. That means you believe in democracy. We the people. If more of the people voted for one person or another, then that is what it is. Ain't nothing you can do about that, except vote next time. The fact is, Donald Trump lost the 2020 election. He lost. He lost fair and square. The fact is, Hillary Clinton lost the 2016 election, fair and square. She got more votes, but she lost. She did not win the Electoral College. Now, the Electoral College in itself is not very democratic and probably should be abolished. It's not abolished today. We still abide by that policy. And therefore, you got to win 270 Electoral College votes to be president. Hillary didn't win it, and Trump didn't win it. That's why they lost. That is point blank, period. It don't matter what you believe. It's just not true. And there are a bunch of different people, a bunch of different sources of information from all across the political spectrum, and even non-partisan parties, independent outlets, and experts that will verify that Trump lost the election. They can even tell you why he lost. Hell, I can tell you why. You know why he lost? One of the reasons? COVID. He mishandled COVID. Bad. He downplayed it. He posited false solutions. He said it was like the flu, said it would go away in the summer. He did not convey the severity and seriousness of this disease and did not treat it like the legitimate threat that it was. He even undermined efforts to, try to get Americans masked up to help fight this virus. He did not encourage people to stay home and to follow quarantine guidelines and stuff like that. He fought against the science every step of the way, and it cost him because people died. Mad people died. And they would have died under any president, but he exacerbated it. So COVID killed Trump's presidency. And Trump was the one that made all the decisions on COVID. Because even if he had done the right things, yes, he still would have been less popular due to COVID. But he could have made better decisions that would have guaranteed that he got reelected. And let's be clear, he almost did get reelected. Tell you the truth. He outperformed, or he overperformed in 2020. The pundits made it sound like he had like a 12% chance of winning. Biden only got 300 some odd electoral votes. So Biden underperformed and Trump overperformed. So it ain't like he got his ass kicked. Biden scraped by. Right? Those are the facts. That is an independent, unbiased view of what the hell happened. And if you're a patriot, you accept this and you move on. Doesn't mean you're not mad about it. Doesn't mean you ain't upset. Doesn't mean you gotta like it. Doesn't even mean that you gotta necessarily accept Joe Biden as your president. I mean, that's kind of unpatriotic in a way. Because if you're a patriot, you subject yourself to executive, judicial, and legislative authority. And so this idea of saying, oh, this ain't none of my president just because I don't like the motherfucker, You don't have no substantive reason for why you dislike this president other than he's of the wrong party. That's not patriotic. It's not patriotic at all. You have every right to protest. You have every right to protest peacefully, of course. But after the protesting is done, and once you air your grievances out, you still got to deal with reality at the end of the day. And you got to accept the results of democracy. And if you can't do that, you motherfucking patriot. Now, let me go further. If you are in favor of censoring books because you disagree with the inclusion of, gay/trans people, or you think the book is trying to make your kids more aware of racism, and therefore that means they're not going to love their country as much, and so you're in support of banning some books that might rustle your jimmies and stuff like that, that is horribly unpatriotic, because you violating the First Amendment, freedom of speech. You violate heavy. Now, freedom of speech does not mean freedom from consequence. Okay? So that doesn't mean that I'm out here railing against so-called cancel culture. Because some people do need to be canceled for the things that they say. And the things that they do. Faux show. It's not as many people as you might believe. But when you have somebody out here performing immoral acts on people, sexually abusing them and stuff like that, yeah, they ass need to be canceled. When you have somebody saying racist things about groups of Americans or groups of people, and they have positions of power, hell yeah, their ass needs to be canceled. They do. If you got some sort of powerful man that's out here using his power to sexually harass and or touch or make women uncomfortable in any way, and I don't give a damn what party they belong to, I promise I don't, yeah, their ass needs to be canceled. Yes. You got motherfuckers touching children and treating them as sex objects and stuff like that, or even suggesting that they're sex objects in any kind of way, their ass needs to be canceled. I don't care who it is. I don't care. I don't care if they're one of my favorites. They got to get canceled. I don't care. Because I got principles, and if I'm not going to stand for one predator, why am I going to stand for another one? You know what I'm saying? But, if you're out here saying that people like Alex Jones deserve to be thrown off of YouTube just because the things he says are detestable, you don't believe in no free speech, bruh. You believe in censorship. We don't need to do that. Now, let's be clear. If a private social media company has a code of conduct, has some rules and guidelines that are clearly labeled, and a person violates those rules and or codes of conduct, Yeah, they can be deplatformed. I have no problem with that. But that thing needs to be consistent. It needs to be unilateral. And most of the time, these bans are not applied unilaterally. They're not consistent. People just get their stuff banned or censored or blocked for no reason. I had a video on YouTube talking about how dangerous it is for people to succumb to white supremacy. That video got blocked for some reason. I have 2 videos talking about the same thing, 1 and 2. One of the videos was allowed to rock, the other one got blocked. And I wasn't trying to rhyme there. It's not clear why that video was blocked. I have no idea. It's the same kind of content that's in this video, but it got blocked. It don't make no sense, man. And that's how social media be doing on people. They just be blocking folks for no damn reason. Blocking their content, blocking their videos, whatever. Just at the drop of a hat or whatever, you know? And it is not even clear what rule they even broke or violated. And that's wrong. Sorry about that. I was hoping I'd get rid of some mucus. I got rid of a little bit of it. But, so that's wrong too, because that's just censorship. That's a violation of the First Amendment. And, I'm not into violating amendments. If an amendment needs to be changed, we can change an amendment. We can certainly alter it or even get rid of it. But once it's in place, we don't need to violate it. That's not patriotic. You understand? Other violations of free speech include punishing people for burning flags or protesting. Punishing people for protesting peacefully. Punishing people for burning flags. Punishing people for taking a knee during the national anthem. Punishing students that don't want to stand for the pledge. Those are all violations of free speech. Violations, straight up violations. If you believe that it's appropriate to punish people in those circumstances, you ain't no patriot. You need to revise yourself. And look, you ain't got to be patriotic if you don't want to. Just don't call yourself one. Just be honest. Be like, look, I'm an American citizen, but I don't believe in American ideals. I'm a Confederate. You can do that. And we would all much appreciate you for being honest and coming right out and saying what it is, instead of lying about it in front of you. Because that's what people are. A lot of motherfuckers out there, really, they are Confederates. Not in the sense that they want to bring back slavery, but in the sense of they do not fundamentally agree with American ideals. One of the things that the Confederates did was they distinguished themselves from America. They said that our fundamental belief that all men are created equal and are free under the law, they said that that was wrong. They said that black people were not created to be free. Slavery is his normal and natural condition. That was the idea that they argued for. That was their distinguishing characteristic. That white people should be at the top of the proverbial tier list, the societal tier list, and everybody else should be below. That's what they argued for. a lot of people actually believe that deep down, but they don't want to come out and say that because they know it sounds racist as fuck. But it's the truth. Okay? But if you believe things like that, you are going directly against American ideals. And you need to acknowledge that. Ain't no getting around it. Ain't no getting around it at all. You understand? But hold on a quick second. I'm gonna give y'all a break because my wife calling me. So I'm gonna cut off the microphone. I'm gonna still let this rock.
Cena's beaten a who's who of this business. Hall of Famers, living legends, Triple H, HBK, The Rock. The list goes on and on. He has won Royal Rumbles, Elimination Chambers, Money in the Bank matches, and the most WWE title reigns. He's also won the hearts and minds of the WWE Universe. As fickle as the audience can be at times, they know true greatness when they see it. We are witnessing greatness. And that goes with your chances here tonight. I brush your mouth like cold gate. In any weather, I'm never better. Your boy's so hot, you never catch me in the next place. Let him face, I drop the whole plan. Lay your ass down for that 3 seconds. Anyone who knows John Cena knows that his ethos in life is hustle, loyalty, and respect. A positive attitude that he always brings with him into the ring. And while his opponent tonight can count on being respected by Cena, it's John's hustle that he needs to watch out for. No question there. But he'll be facing off against someone who is trying to shut down all the naysayers. Someone ready to take a spot at the top of our business. Oh, that can dislocate something. Cena drop kick. There's a sling blade. And a basement drop kick. Getting him into the corner. Boom! Pair of boots to the face. Oh, costly error there. Taking into consideration the power of John Cena, a man who can deadlift 500 pounds. How can anyone establish the upper hand against Cena?
Best way to counter power is with speed. You can stay one step ahead of Cena, dodging those thunderous strikes and taking chances where you get them. You may be able to establish an edge.
Enough already. And that cuts Cena right off. Oh, man, just punishing. He's heading up top.
Thinking big. What is Cena doing on the top?
John Cena, you can't see me. Back of the neck getting worked over. And setting him up. Oh, knee to the hands.
That's going to hurt.
He's absorbing some tough hits now.
Yeah, but you can't count anyone out yet. This match could still go either way. Oh my gosh.
And he's able to reverse. Able to interrupt the attack. And set him up. Oh, knee to the hands.
That's going to hurt.
And Cena with the wherewithal to counter. There's a fisherman suplex.
You can't see him.
Saw that coming.
Something's about to go either very wrong.
No way. Shooting star. Placing them right where they want them, into the corner. Bang, a tiger fake kick. Hung out to dry.
He's absorbed some damage already. Yeah, Cena is hustling hard to take control in this match and dish out damage.
And countouts are legal, so hopefully this will be a short trip outside.
Big belly-to-back suplex. Up over the shoulder.
Down into the ring. Took off the hood of the ass, taking it over the monitors.
Bad intentions in mind here.
Come on, Byron, get in front of me.
No.
Oh, the reversal by Cena. Oh, he retaliates. Powerless position to be in right now. Oh my God. 6. Look at this. Oh, no.
Wildly throwing your body out of the ring like that is more often than not going to provide such a result.
That was an example of boldness backfiring.
Electric chair to the face buster.
Stomping away.
Man, that hurts.
And now he's looking to lock in this submission.
Camel clutch locked in.
This won't win the match, but it's doing a lot of damage in the process.
And he very quickly counters.
Oh, was that a spear?
Intercepted.
Your boy's back. Hope you've been enjoying this footage of my original created character, Explosion, versus John Cena. But anyway, you know, basically, what I'm saying in a nutshell is, oh my God, slow down. My bad. What I'm saying in a nutshell is, don't be a partisan, be a patriot. And don't mix up being a patriot with being a nationalist, because that's not the same thing. Don't run around telling people you love America and draping yourself in the flag for cheap pops and all that. Drape yourself in the principles of the flag. Embed those principles into your mind and into your heart and your soul.
It's like a heat-seeking missile coming at you.
And the explosion occurring ringside.
And relentlessly campaign for those rights and those principles for all people.
He puts him on the table. We know this will not end well.
That's what it means to be a patriot.
This is really hard to watch, gentlemen.
Yeah. That means stand with your black brothers and sisters when they protest against police brutality. Understand, they're not protesting against the presence of police. They are not running around trying to be anti-police. Many of them have police in their families, like I do. I'm the son of a cop. But I want police to not brutalize people. My dad was a deputy sheriff for over 25 years. And I love my dad. And so I do not hate police. But what I do hate is this idea that they can kill somebody. They can open fire on somebody that's unarmed. And then they can just turn around and say, oh, I feared for my life. And then that's their get out of jail free card, literally. I don't like that idea. That's bad. They need to be treated as any other working professional would be treated. Because as a teacher, we go through a lot of hoops And there's a lot of things that we can't do. And there are many ways for us to lose our teaching license. For instance, if we help a kid during a standardized test, like a high stakes state standardized test, we will lose our license if we even coach them. Excuse me. There are a lot of things that we can do that will get our license removed. And it doesn't look like police have that kind of, they don't have that kind of accountability. Not in the ways that they should.
Cena's looking absolutely powerless.
But I'm saying if, one group of people can be accountable for mistakes they make, the same thing should happen with another group of people. If one group of people can avoid being disproportionately tried and convicted for crimes that they commit at the same rate as another group of people, if one group can avoid that, all groups should be not subject to that shit. If one group of people can avoid having people make up terms that don't actually exist, such as black on black crime, to which there's actually no such thing. Not to say that black people don't commit crime against each other, because they do, but they don't commit a disproportionate amount of crime against other black people as anybody else. Poor people commit crime disproportionately against poor people, and it doesn't matter what color they are. But they use the term black on black crime is used to justify heinous policies against black people due to their inherent heightened criminality and heightened violence and all this kind of stuff, or violentness. That's the implicit idea. And it's wrong. That idea is wrong. I'm going to choke him out. Oh nah, he gonna survive. He gonna survive. Boy, damn near died right there, boy. Woo. But anyway. And if one group of people can participate in the sport of their choice, and they can be represented on TV and in all sorts of media, and they can have teachers talk about their sexual orientation, it should happen for all people. We don't need to be drawing distinctions between one group of Americans and another group of Americans and saying that this one group of Americans should have all their rights and freedoms and then this other group can't. The Constitution applies to this group of Americans, but not this other group. It only applies 90% to them, but 100% to these people. Nah, that's wrong. That is anti-American. I love the finish to this match, because that's something that would actually happen. That's how a match would go for real. Beautiful. Brilliant. But anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I conveyed this message to y'all. Once again, thank you for viewing my videos. I hope you all look at this video, and really I hope you learned something. Even if some of my content rubbed you the wrong way, I want you to at least think about it. Ponder on it. See if maybe I have a little bit of a point before you outright reject it. Alright? But in any case, thank you for watching this video. It's your boy Bowie. And I'm out of here. Peace.